What am I doing here? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? What am I doing here?
So I am standing on top of a large purple cube in a dark room, and there are a bunch of other purple cubes of different heights surrounding me, and all of them are lighting up. And I have to say, it looks really, really cool. Right now, we are in production rehearsals, which means that we've pretty much figured out the music portion of the show, but we're working now on all of the visual components. So that's the set, the lighting, the screens, the video. In the age of like the ubiquitous camera, I feel like the way a show looks is more important than ever. And for this upcoming tour, I wanted to create something very special, but as you know, teamwork does in fact make the dream work. And I couldn't do it alone, like not at all. So this week, I'm gonna talk to my production designer, Sooner, and my lighting director, Jeannie, about the process of creating the visual show. Here's Sooner, my production designer.
I think a good place to start is when you begin on a tour or a project.
Yeah.
What are the things that you think about? Like, how do you begin to conceive of how the show will look and feel?
Yeah, I think it's really important to connect what is going on with the album and the branding and the social media with the live space. That's first and foremost, that's like what I try to do every single time. And in this case, it was so amazing because you have this beautiful lavender color and you've got these amazing doodles everywhere that are just so easy to like translate into the live setting, especially through the projection which you have. So the second step is to, and obviously like I know how you move around on stage, you got a lot of energy, which is great. So it's kind of like, how do we create a stage that's really fun for you to run around on, and also like create these really cool moments where you can be in certain locations and like be framed by things and have some sort of really cool background. So basically what I do is I start by playing in a 3D program. So it's called Vectorworks. It's the one I primarily use, several others out there, and I just start drawing shapes. So I start with the size of the stage that you're going to typically be on. And then I sort of draw like just a standard backdrop, or I'll put it into like the space. And then I just start playing with shapes. So I just draw like rudimentary, just rectangles and squares and triangles and circles or whatever. And I'll kind of make them into risers. And I just start playing with them, and I play with the placement. And then once something starts sticking and I feel like, okay, well, now I'm getting someplace here with this configuration, and then I'll maybe put the drum kit in and the keys and sort of make sure that those are fitting in certain places and that they feel like they're in, perspectively, like from a front perspective, that they're actually like in a good location, that everything feels proportional. So that's sort of how I start. I just play with shapes. Playing with shapes, man. Playing with shapes, man.
But it's so cool. Like, and what I really hope people listening can kind of understand, and what I think is so, like most people just don't know about this process, but like, here you are like on your computer playing with shapes. You send that to us, and then like those shapes get built.
Yes, which is so cool. And then it's even cooler when you're like looking through Instagram and you're seeing pictures of it from all these awesome fans that are just like throwing that stuff on the internet. It's like, it's crazy. It's such a surreal thing. It's like, yes, I need that.
Totally.
It's like the grown-up equivalent of like a kid with a crayon drawing and it gets put on a fridge. That's totally what that is.
I love that. You know what I'm struck by, like, frequently just in kind of music and all the adjacent industries is that, like, there's this moment that all of us have where we do, like, we see something and we're like, man, that'd be cool to do. And then we, like, do it.
Yep.
And
exactly.
you, like, learn along the way and all this, but it's just, it's kind of a beautiful, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh man, it's purple as far as the eye can see. The lights are going crazy. Everything's shining. I feel like a superstar. I'm here on the tour bus with Jeannie, a lighting designer who is my lighting director out here on the road. What's like going through your mind as we prep the tour and during a show? Like, what are you thinking about from a visual standpoint?
Well, I think for me, definitely the prep part of the show. I've said this for a while, that lighting to me is very much like another instrument in the band. I like to jam with the band, which is one of the reasons I dance at front of house, because dancing like helps me keep beat, and like the best way for me to keep beat is with my body. And so whenever I feel it that way and I get to dance, I tend to be more on time. Like I hit my cues better and things like that. And so that's probably the biggest thing that I'm thinking about whenever I prep is like, where are my drops, where are my hits, and especially like what colors I like with things like that, and what's the vibe of a song.
How did you first like know about lighting design as a thing you could do? Like, was there a moment you're like, oh, I want to do this?
Mm-hmm. Like, I always joke that I fell ass backwards into the industry, because I was actually going to school for a chemistry major. My plan was to go like medical, and I somehow found my way into audio, and I started doing audio a little bit at first. And then the first venue that I worked at, my boss, Kira, one of our lighting girls was leaving, and she kind of approached me like, hey, do you want to learn? And I was like, well, it wasn't not really the position that I wanted to go for at the time, but I was like, okay, sure, I'll learn. And now it's literally been the only thing I've done for 4 years. And because I found out that I am a very visual person, so being able to sort of take the things that I hear and make a picture, it's sort of like painting a picture with it. And that's what I enjoy about it. So.
I'm just curious, like, where your inspiration comes from in this world.
I think a lot for me, whenever I was first starting, it was definitely like learning kind of the theory and the rules of lighting, of like, okay, you should probably never really mix green and red together on stage, because then you just get Christmas and it looks weird. But then, like, as time moved on, I started watching more and more LDs from the shows that would come through my house venue and picking up on things that they do, and like, oh, I like that, maybe I can incorporate that into my design. And so it's very much watching what other LDs do and learning how to play with it, and the way that you use it is the way that it matters.
Totally. Getting ready for a tour is kind of like planning a crazy dinner party. It's not just about the food, it's about the napkins and the place settings and the music and the night you have it and the theme and the people you invite. It's this whole coordinated evening. And, you know, the crew and I have spent like a week and a half in a dark room, late nights, going slightly insane, but I think dinner is served. If you want to talk to me about stuff on the internet, you can use the hashtag K.Flay Show, or you can email me at thekflayshow@gmail.com. And of course, you can listen to my new album, Solutions, everywhere that you like to listen to music. So there's a new episode of What Am I Doing Here every week. Be sure to set a reminder for the K.Flay Show after 9 a.m. on Wednesday. And I'm on tour this fall. Visit kflay.com/tour to get your tickets.